What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Caleb, and today we have something different. Today we are going to break down casual take of UFC 327, I believe that's what it's called. Am I making a mistake here? Double check. Yep, 327. I have it something different on my notes. Yes, I have notes because I'm an old man. And we're gonna break down the whole fight card, and then at the very end, I'm gonna show you or pick my parlay. So if people want to see that, which hopefully I do, stay to the end and you'll see my picks. But I will also pick every winner of the fights. History or disclaimer, I guess you could say, I am a casual UFC watcher. I've been a fan of the UFC since, I guess you could say, the golden times, golden era, with Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, all of them. Yeah, I watched it at a very young age. Cage Warriors, Pride, all that stuff. But I don't go into the deep end where who's training with who, what gym are they going to, all that stuff. It's because I just like viewing it more and watching it. But I do watch a lot of UFC. Also, I have no mixed martial arts background. The only fighting background I did was like a month of boxing, which I did with my friends at a local gym in where I'm from, and that's about it. It was just get the fundamentals down in boxing, and that was really it. There's really no Brazilian jiu-jitsu, no just regular jiu-jitsu, no mixed martial arts training or gym that I've ever been to. It's just never interested me, and I don't want to hurt my knees. I already have bad knees. It runs in the family, so shout out to my father. With that being said, we are at UFC 327. Shockingly, we are already here at 327. This is the Paramount era. This card looks, even though they lost a fight with the Joshua Yan fight, this card still is pretty loaded. If you don't know, I'm gonna show y'all, or at least help y'all out. With the first, I'm gonna butcher a lot of people's names. I'm bad at pronunciating, but we're gonna start with the early prelims and work our way all the way to the main event because that's how you are gonna view it. With that being said, let's get started. Early prelims. First fight is Charles Radtke versus Francisco Prado. I'm gonna read off my little notes. Prado has a 1-inch height advantage, but Radtke has the reach at 72 inches. Prado's also coming off a 3-fight losing streak, all by decision, and Radtke's coming off a win against Daniel Fruza. Radtke is the better grappler. Prado's also better on the feet, obviously. I like the winner. The winner of this one, I like Charles Radtke, just because if it goes to the ground, Radtke's gonna dominate him with the octagon control, and that's what I'm going with. If Prado is like a little lighter, a little quicker with the feet, but I think it's going to go to the ground and Radtke's going to win. Next fight, we have Kelvin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque. This is going to be a banger of a fight. Both of these guys, for some reason, love to throw hands, even though Vicente has the BJJ background. Vicente is taller and has a significant reach advantage. Luque is on a 2-fight losing streak to Joel Alvarez and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is an unpredictable fighter. Usually people don't really know what to do with him. Kevin Holland's also one of the guys that during this podcast he was talking shit to Rampage Jackson, which was wild to me. Kelvin is 1-1 last 2 fights, with the win against Dustin Stoltzfus and a loss against Joe Pyfer, who, if you don't know who Joe Pyfer is, he just beat Israel Adesanya. Israel's actually winning that fight, and then Joe just dug deep and found a dark place and just went to town on Israel, and it was just a TKO. For some reason, these boys, mainly Vicente, love to stand and bang, and every time that Vicente tries to stand, he usually gets caught. Kelvin Gastelum has that wide overhand right and left, and then he also has a great wrestling background. So, with that being said, give me the winner of Kelvin Gastelum. Also, Kelvin Gastelum has this weird, he has a weird tank of stamina. It's It's slow where he'll start off real fast, real good, and then just get drainage. But that tank just stays at a low. It stays at almost at empty for the longest time. But he can continue going round after round after round after round. Hence the Israel Kelvin Gastelum fight, which was another banger of a fight. Next, we have the last fight of the early prelims. Chris Padilla versus Markel Medeiros. Markel Medeiros is 11-1. Chris Padilla 17-6. Both undefeated though in the UFC, so someone's always got to go. Chris has the reach advantage, but Chris Padilla did also miss weight. Padilla has the experience, and he's a better grappler, but Markel is also the better striker, and I want to say he's slightly younger. I'll double check that. I'll put any corrections. I'll put it in the bigger view because this is going to be a little smaller view. The winner, I'm going to go with Markel Medeiros. There's really not much here. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Actually, this is probably one of the fights that I'm going to watch because I will be at work, sadly, on nights. But this is probably one of the fights that I'm going to try to catch if I can. And that's pretty much really it. I just think, Markel is just, he has great takedown defense, I think, or at least decent takedown defense. Well enough to keep Chris at bay. And then, he's also the better striker too. So if he keeps Chris at bay, I think he's going to win. Going through these pretty fast. That's already all the early prelims. Again, these are casual takes, so I don't really know everything. I'm not no expert. I'm not no ESPN, no analyst, no Daniel Cormier, Laura Sanko, none of the Chris Weidman, none of them. I'm just a casual viewer. Next, we have Tatiana Suarez versus Lupe Godinez. On tape, if you just look at the record, look at the height, look at everything, you would think Tatiana Suarez is going to easily demolish this girl. But Tatiana Suarez did lose to Yang Wei Li. She has a significant height and reach advantage. She's also the better grappler. Lupe can win if she stays on the feet. Suarez is known for not moving her head. That's how she lost to the Yang Wei Li fight. As big as Tatiana Suarez is, she does cut a lot of weight for strawweights. And Lupe Godinez is the better, faster striker. So that is clear advantage to Lupe Godinez. But with that being said, Tatiana Suarez's grapple game, if she gets a hold of Lupe, it's game over. Game over. Tatiana Suarez is gonna just octagon control, win by decision. That's Tatiana's game. A lot of people call her a boring fighter, not the Alexa Grasso that you've seen, where she knocked out, I guess, what's her name? Macy Barber, and then choked her out where Macy Barber was unconscious for a while. A scary moment. But it gets the job done. And I think with this win, you kind of have to put her back in the strawweight contention. I don't think this is a contender fight, as in the winner gets the title shot. It's just, I think Tatiana Suarez needs one more significant fight over a decent, well-rounded striker / grappler. Zhang Weili was an elite striker, and she has great takedown defense. That's why Tatiana had a lot of trouble with her. But the winner with this one, I'm going to go with Tatiana Suarez, only because I know what's going to happen. Tatiana Suarez is just going to hover over her. Lupe Godinez is not going to be able to get away, and then it's just going to be octagon control. Tatiana Suarez is probably going to win by decision. Next is a banger of a fight. Mateusz Gamrot, again, if I pronounce that right, I'm sorry, versus Esteban Ribovics. Don't ask me where they're from. Again, casual viewer. But Gamrot, slight read advantage. Gamrot has experience and huge wins over big names like RDA, Rafael Fiziev, Jalen Turner, and Arman. Gamrot's losses have been to only Dan Hooker, and recently his last fight was to Charles Oliveira. Gamrot was on that high incline where, like, okay, if he beats Charles Oliveira, you have to give him the title shot. Charles Oliveira did Charles Oliveira things and just annihilated him, just like he did with Max Holloway. It wasn't really great. Esteban has a huge striking advantage, but he has very been poor takedown defense. I think he got takedown, I want to say like 10 to 11 times in his debut. So, with that being said, Gamrot has a good strike, good striking, great grappling. Give me the winner, Gamrot. But I'm excited about this fight. I really am. Two contenders who I think winner fights one more fight, and then they go for the title. Excuse me. Now we have Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Shockingly, this fight hasn't been like a lot of talking. Unless I'm missing it, it's more been of a certain fighter we'll talk about later. But Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. I'm excited for this fight. This fight's not going to go the distance, I believe. If it does, then boy, do these guys have some chins. Holland has a 3-inch reach advantage coming off a loss. Holland's coming off a loss. Holland with the grappling advantage also, because he does train with BJJ. Bryant does have decent takedown defense and great experience, but he's also the better striking. Holland's likely to get into these striking exchanges, and when he does, hence the Daniel Rodriguez fight, it usually doesn't look good. Daniel Rodriguez and the Kevin Holland fight was a banger of a fight, both of them just digging deep, and it didn't turn out so great for Kevin Holland. He lost that fight. And shout out to Daniel Rodriguez, who just recently got out of Mexico prison, or Mexico jail. I don't know what you would call that. For this fight, give me Randy Brown winner. I want to say TKO. Randy Brown just have heavier hands, heavier striking, decent takedown defense. Once Kevin Holland starts getting tagged and gets hits with that power, it's usually game over for Randy Brown opponents. The only thing is, it depends on what Kevin Holland we get. If it's the striking Kevin Holland where he's like, fudge everybody, I'm gonna show you what I can do on my feet, then yeah, you're gonna probably lose. But if once he starts getting tagged and it clicks in him like, hey, I need to take this guy down, if he does take him down, and Randy Brown will be in trouble. But I think Randy Brown's defense is gonna hold up, and like I said, give me Randy Brown winner, TKO. This fight is only, I don't think this is the, I guess, main event for the prelims. I really don't, I like this fight, but not for the main event of the prelims. I think the Randy Brown Kevin Holland fight would have been a better main event for the prelims, or even move this fight to the main card, but the first fight of the main card, and give Cub Swanson his main event of the prelim. But this is Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. I love this fight. Pico has that reach advantage, both Bellator alumni. Only slightly thing is that Pitbull was the former dominant champion of Bellator. Pitbull's the slower pace fighter, with Pico's a more fast pace. Get in your face, constantly have that pressure. He has a tremendous work rate as an Aaron Pico. Both, I think, have equally great striking advantage, but the advantage goes to Patricio Pitbull with the grappling and the wrestling. Give me Patricio Pitbull to win this fight. I think it's going to go to decision, honestly. Like I said, I don't like that card, or like that fight as the main event for the, I guess, prelims. A main event for the prelims. I'd rather have the Cub Swanson or the Kevin Holland fight as the main event. But I'm not the matchmaker, so. Now back to the main card. We're finally here. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Let me get some water, because I feel my voice scratching. All right, and I'm talking really fast now that I realize that, but anywho, this is Cub Swanson's retirement fight, and he's going against a guy who's lost, I think, 2 in a row. Nate does have the reach advantage. Swanson's, even though he's older, he's a lot faster and a better striker. Nate has been TKO'd / knocked out in his last 2 fights, and Swanson, like I said, this is Swanson's last fight. The only thing, if this wasn't a retirement fight, I would go with Cub Swanson all the way. But since it's a retirement fight, the odds in my head just make it even. And then, fun stat, roughly 30% fighters in their retirement fight lose. or I guess, wait, hold on. Roughly 30% in their retirement fight win. So they usually win. Oh, they usually lose. Sorry, said that wrong. Usually in their retirement fight, they lose. So with that being said, I'm going with Nate. I think it's gonna go. I would say it's gonna go to decision. It's gonna go with Nate. All he has to do is keep his distance from Cub Swanson and don't let. Because Cub Swanson will stand and bang with anybody, but he's also a great grappler. And Nate, coming off these 2 losses, his chin has been compromised. So Cub Swanson gets to touch his chin, then it'd go to Cub Swanson, but I still think Nate's gonna win, only because it's Cub Swanson's retirement fight, and I don't think it's gonna end well. Usually people don't. They like to go out on their shields, but it never works out for the UFC fighter. Next, we have one of the bangers of fights, and what I think is gonna be a quick fight for a certain fighter. We have Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker with a huge reach advantage at 5 inches. Reyes 3-1 in his last 4, and his only loss being to Carlos Ulberg, who is the main event of this card, in a first round TKO. And Walker coming off a win against a rising star, Mingyang Zhang, who was dominating everybody in the UFC, like the prelims and stuff like that. He'd beat people, and then Johnny Walker put a stop to it. So Reyes is a more significant, better striker, more precise. He gave the works and almost beat John Jones. I did say almost beat because I did watch that fight multiple times. You can go 50 in the air, but if you don't beat the champion and you go to decision, they usually give it to the champion. That's why Dominic Reyes lost that fight. But if it was just a regular non-title fight, I think Dominic Reyes would have won. But Johnny Walker does also have that weak chin. He has been compromised multiple times, having those flash knockouts, as in him being the one knocked out, where he just gets stiff and just falls straight to the ground, which it's always scary watching Johnny Walker fight, but it's always entertainment. That being said, though, Dominic Reyes was coming off that. He's coming off a win streak now, but he was coming off of like a 4 fight after the John Jones fight, like a 4 or 5 losing streak where he was almost cut, and then something clicked in his head. I think he changed camps maybe, and then he's been going off. He's been beating people. So that being said, Dominic Reyes has a heavier hand, so I'm gonna go with Dominic Reyes knocking out Johnny Walker. I don't think this is gonna go the full 3 rounds. Hopefully. Whew. Now we have the interesting fight, and one of the most interesting fighters now. Curtis Blaydes versus Josh Hockett, as an interesting fighter being Josh Hockett, undefeated. Heavyweights are always unpredictable, I think, in my opinion, because they're big guys and everyone has knockout power. Hockett is dangerous on his feet. He's real lighter. He's almost like you would say the Usyk. I'm not comparing him to Usyk, but I kind of am. But he's light on his feet, kind of like Usyk. And heavyweights really don't see this. It's something that they're not used to. And he also has great takedown defense, which Curtis Blaydes is a good wrestler. He's also has 3 wins by submission, which if it does go to the ground, Curtis Blaydes, you got to watch out, bud. So I would say keep it on the feet. Blaydes has almost a 7 reach advantage, but Hockett brings that pace, like I said, that heavyweights don't see. He is undefeated. He does have some strange tactics to get into people's heads. He did that. He had a weird, weird weigh-in this morning. This is reported Friday, the day of before the event. And, I just don't really like it. I think he's trying too hard. And a lot of people don't like it. It's really not funny. But, that being said, give me Josh Hockett to win. Prediction, I'm going to say by submission. And next we have the co-main event, which I don't know why it's the co-main event. Azamat Murzakanov, are you going to pronounce that right? Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa. Costa is slightly taller and the reach is kind of the same. But I believe this is Costa's first fight at light heavyweight. And Azamat's been torching people in light heavyweight, undefeated. He's beat Rocket and Ribeiro in the first round, TKOs. Paulo Costa chin has been exposed. He's going up a weight because at 185 he would just lose stamina quickly. He'd cut a lot of weight. So this is his first time at 205, and we'll see how he does. But they gave him one of the worst people to start in your debut for light heavyweight, if this is his debut, because Azamat is no punk. Paulo Costa did come off a win, but his last fight was at 185. Like I said, Azamat's no punk. Give me Azamat. I think it's going to be a TKO. I want to say second round, just to give Paulo Costa some benefit of the doubt because he is a veteran now. But there was one point where Paulo Costa was supposed to be the guy until Israel stopped that. And after that, he's just been up and down. So hopefully this change benefits him, but I know he's going to probably lose this fight. Hopefully he doesn't just, like, you know what, it ain't for me no more. Stay in light heavyweight. I think this is the weight class for you, but so you're going to lose. And now we have the main event. Jiri Brockus, I can never pronounce his name, but the Last Samurai, I believe, is his nickname, versus Carlos Ulberg, who about time he gets his title shot. Dude is on a 9-fight win streak, finally getting that much-deserved title shot. Jiri's on a 2-fight win streak, and in the last 4, he's 2-2. His only 2 losses have been against Alex Pereira, which were banger fights. Jiri did beat Roundtree and Jamal Hill, but the only thing is that Roundtree also lost to Alex Pereira, but Roundtree has, it's known that he has bad stamina. Still like the guy though, but if you could take Roundtree to the later rounds, he's known to fold. Not because he just doesn't have, not because he can't perform, like his ability is there. It's just his technique and striking and all that stuff is there. It's just that his stamina is just always, his gas tank is always the one that beats him. And then Jamal Hill, I don't think that was a significant win. No offense to Jamal Hill, please don't beat me up, but he beat Jamal Hill after a year layoff, and then before that year layoff, it was his last fight was a loss to Alex Pereira, where it was the controversial in Jamal's eyes knockout, where he got knocked out, where he accidentally kicked Alex Pereira in the groin. Pereira and Herb was going to come in and stop it, but Alex Pereira told him to wait. I think it's Herb told him to wait. No, don't. I'm good. And then he got that a little step closer to get the reach, and then knocked him out in one punch. So don't think that was a significant win. I do like Jiri though, but I think Carlos Ulberg is just going to be too much. Carlos Ulberg has great striking, decent takedown defense. Jiri doesn't really take down people, so Carlos really is. It's going to be a stand and bang fight, honestly. So whoever has the best striking, which in favor, if you look on paper, you would think Jiri, but I think Carlos Ulberg just has heavier hands. I think Carlos Ulberg actually should be a heavyweight because how big he is, but he's making the weight light heavyweight and dominating people. So cool. The winner, Carlos Ulberg, TKO. I'm gonna say the 3rd round, maybe 4th round, but I'm gonna go with 3rd round. With that being said, those are my takes on the fight. Now we're gonna go with the parlay. Parlay, I'd have this is all gonna be money line. I'm not doing TKO submissions in these rounds because I can never do that. It's unpredictable. But I have my parlay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 fighters. So it's a 6-leg parlay. Plus 2,986. We have Ratket versus Francisco Prado. I'll go with Ratket. Markel at plus 136. Gamrot at minus 205. Brown at a -108, Azamat at -205, and Ulbrich at 105, -105. I actually kind of like these picks, doing the little research that I did for the week. I usually don't post these, I won't post these videos until that Friday of, only because of the weigh-ins. You just never know. Also, I think the only person that missed weight was Chris. Yeah, Chris Padilla was the only one that missed weight, I believe. I haven't seen nobody else miss weight, or at least no news of them missing weight, or any fights being canceled. So, if all the fights go through like they do and don't have like nobody getting sick the day of when they're rehydrating, I think it's gonna be a banger of a card. I want to say give this so far. This is gonna be the top fight card, I guess, numbered fight cards of the year so far, because apparently, oh, not apparently, the Paramount era hasn't been great for the UFC. A lot of boring fight cards, I guess you could say, for casual fans. With that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. That's the end of this video. Check out my other videos. I think I just uploaded a Topps Chrome update series of the, what do you call it? Retail. Next video coming out next week will be Topps Chrome update part 2. That's the mega box, and then after that will be the Topps Chrome update part 3. So make sure y'all like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if y'all like these type of videos, and let me know y'all's predictions and what I fudged up on.